finished a long day in the shop, and I got to thinking while I was working about designs and functions and why knives are made the way they're made. You know, today's knife making world, knives keep getting bigger and heavier and just crazier looking, and they really don't serve any purpose. I don't really see what the use of that is. It's my opinion only. Don't want to ruffle any feathers, but you know, I read an article from Bob Lovelace. It was a while back I read it, and he said that take a knife and flip it upside down, and he said, then you'll find out how good your knife is. He said half the life of your knife's going to be spent upside down. And I got to thinking, I live in the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm a avid bow hunter, an avid trapper, and I use a knife a lot. And he's right. I spend half the time field dressing deer upside down, skinning upside down. And you know, my knives, I want them to be functional and practical. I don't want a boat anchor on my hip. You know, 1/8 inch stock, 5/32 at the most is plenty. And as far as grinds go, I think they all have their place. Like a Scandinavian grind, it has a place in the bushcraft, and it's extremely good at up close cuts. Flat grinds, you know, they're extremely strong and can be ground thin and can be used hard. They don't have a fragile edge. A hollow grind, it's meant to cut meat. It's hollowed out in the middle, but I don't think it's the strongest grind as far as strength goes. I think that would probably go to a full convex, which is, in my opinion, a hard knife to maintain and to sharpen for the person who's not a knife maker or really has experience sharpening. All my knives, besides the Scandinavian grind, there's zero grind on it. Micro bevel. All my knives, flat ground, hollow ground, saber ground, they all have convex edges on them. It makes an extremely good cutting tool. You know, I just thought I'd throw this in between this heat treating video I got coming up and this knife build I'm doing. And I want to show you some of my work when I'm talking about functional work. You know, I run the gauntlet when I first started making knives to make it big and mean and aggressive as it can be. And simplicity in a working knife is probably best. You know, if it doesn't serve a purpose on a knife, it doesn't need to be there. That's my reasoning. And I like ergonomic handles, and you know, basic ergonomic handles that fit the hand this way. But you flip the knife upside down, you know, your finger's there. You can do chores with it. It's a nice drop point. A drop point, get away from the entrails if you're doing any gutting of deer or elk or moose or whatever you're doing with it. And this knife here, it is a Nusmik style knife. I think it's probably one of the most user-friendly blade shapes there is as far as function goes. This thing can do anything. You know, Mr. Sears, when he designed the knife, he knew what he was doing. He is supposed to be using a cutting edge. He was using the back for a spoon. He was using this knife for everything, and that's just a design that is timeless. And I really like Nusmik style knives. Then you got your smaller functional knives. This is going to be a Scandinavian grind on this, but I'll turn it into a drop point, a smaller drop point, and it can be used for anything: trout, small game. These are just, you know, my takes on knives. You know, you flip them upside down, skin a trout, got a trout, do what you need to do with it. And you put it on your side and you really don't know it's there once it's ground. And then you get into the smaller knives, you know, unique knives. They're just, can be used for every day and you don't even know they're on your neck or on your hip, if that's where you're going to keep it. There goes my phone. Don't get a phone call today and say I'm in the shop or filming this video, I get one. But this little knife right here, this has a 2.5-inch blade, and you can take this. Actually, I'm going to finish one of these knives and take it in the field and video a bow hunt this year, and I'm going to actually do all of the quartering, gutting, and everything with this knife. I think it's around almost 6 inches long. It's got a 2.5-inch blade. I'll probably flat grind this one for my own use and convex the edges so they get nasty, nasty sharp. And I favor D2 tool steel. It just takes an extremely good edge and holds it. It can be temperamental as far as, resharpening it, but don't let your knife get dull. That's the bottom line. You let your edge roll over and you have a hard time getting it back if you're not a knife maker. We got a shop sitting here with belt grinders that I sharpen all mine and leather wheel. But I thought I just wanted to touch on some of the basic designs and grinds and functions. Like I said, that's just my take on it, and maybe it'll make people think out there, or someone will see this video and think, hey, But Mr. Lovelace was right when he said that, and he was probably one of the forefathers of functional blade design. All my knives are hand cut, hand profiled. I do not use CNC machines. I do not believe in them. If a CNC machine is used, it's a mid-tech knife. It's not a custom handmade knife, This is what mine are right here. My 10 digits. That's what I use with basic shop tools. So that's what I think knife making should be. I think it should be you, your contact wheel, your platen, your drill presses, and a personal experience, not a program it, press a button and go and cut all the things out and cut your bevels in. And some people don't even have grinders in their shops, and they're awesome knife makers, so they say. You step up in front of a wheel or a platen and go to grinding, and you make a lot of mistakes. But some of my biggest mistakes I've made have made me a better knife maker. If I never would have made that mistake, I probably would have kept doing the same thing. But mistakes sometimes can be your friend. And, for any new knife maker that's watching this, we all mess up. I probably ground 500-600 knives and I still mess up. So it's a constant learning experience, and when you think you got it all figured out, just pack it up, because you don't. I learn something every time. I've been in this shop for about 6 hours today, working on profiling, just profiling and getting templates made and getting ready to heat treat a batch here, and then I'm going to do a second part of a video of the heat treat here. So I thought I'd just hit on that. I hope you guys got something from it. So, like I said, I don't want to ruffle people's feathers with the CNC machines. To each their own. If they feel like they have to do that to make a knife, who am I to say any different? That's just my opinion. So, so a good functional knife in the end, that's the one that you'll hang on to. And I know from being where I live, and I step right from my shop and I'm in the woods. But I was born in the country, and that's where I'll stay. So, I hope you all got something from that, and I enjoy bringing it to you. And if you stick around with me, you may learn something. I learned something from YouTube, and I watch other makers do it. I just like knives. So, hey, anybody's watching this, I appreciate it. Comment on it. This is my journey in life, and I'd like to take people on it with me. And it's more pleasurable when someone sees what you're doing in the inside of your life through your eyes. So, hang with me and watch me do what I do. Thank you.